Backstage at America's Got Talent, 10-year-old Peter Rosalita stood frozen, clutching the microphone so tightly his small hands trembled. The dazzling lights spilling from the stage seemed to swallow everything around him. He could hear the thunder of applause for the contestant before him, and with every cheer, his heart pounded louder. His mother knelt beside him, gently straightening his tiny bow tie. "Breathe, Anik," she whispered in Filipino, her voice calm and warm. "Remember why you sing. Not for the judges, for the people who believe in you." Peter nodded, his eyes glistening. Memories flashed, singing to his grandmother back in their small apartment, her smile the only audience he ever needed. That was where his dream began. Now, he stood thousands of miles away from home, about to sing on one of the biggest stages in the world. A crew member called his name. The curtain ahead rippled slightly, glowing with promise and fear. Peter took one last deep breath, whispering to himself, "I can do this." As he stepped toward the stage, the noise faded behind him. For a moment, it was just a boy, a dream, and the courage to let his heart be heard. Peter stepped onto the stage, the blinding lights swallowing him whole. The vast sea of faces stretched before him, thousands watching, millions more beyond the cameras. His small frame looked even smaller against the enormous stage. He swallowed hard, his palms slick with sweat. Simon Cowell leaned forward, eyebrow raised. "Hello there. What's your name?" Peter Rosalita," he stammered softly. "How old are you, Peter?" "I'm 10. A wave of gentle laughter rippled through the audience. Simon smiled faintly. "And what will you be singing for us today?" Peter clutched the microphone tighter. "I'll be singing, All By Myself." The crowd gasped. A 10-year-old attempting a song so powerful, it was unthinkable. The music began, soft and slow, filling the theater with delicate piano notes. For a second, Peter's voice caught in his throat. Then, like magic, it came alive, pure, soaring, filled with emotion far beyond his years. Each note trembled with feeling, each breath carried his heart. The judges exchanged stunned glances. The audience fell silent, mesmerized. This wasn't just a child singing, this was a voice that carried stories, dreams, and courage. And in that moment, Peter wasn't nervous anymore, he was free. As the music swelled, Peter's voice climbed higher, delicate yet powerful, trembling with raw emotion. Each lyric of All By Myself echoed through the auditorium, carrying the weight of his journey, the loneliness of a boy far from home, and the hope that had kept him going. The audience sat in stunned silence. You could almost hear hearts beating in rhythm with his voice. A mother in the front row clasped her hands to her chest, a cameraman wiped his eyes behind the lens. Even Simon Cowell, known for his tough exterior, leaned back slowly, his expression softening. Peter sang not just with talent, but with truth. Every word sounded like a piece of his soul being set free. He thought of his grandmother, her smile, her laughter, the promise he made to make her proud. His voice cracked slightly on the final note, and that imperfection made it even more perfect. As the last note faded, the room remained utterly still. For a long, breathtaking second, nobody moved. Then, suddenly, the entire theater erupted into applause. Tears streamed down Peter's cheeks. He had given everything. And in return, he felt something he had never known before, the world listening. For a heartbeat, there was only silence, then the audience exploded into cheers. People leapt to their feet, clapping and shouting his name. Peter stood frozen in the middle of the stage, eyes wide, breath trembling. The lights reflected off the tears still glistening on his cheeks. Sofia Vergara pressed her hand to her chest. "Oh my gosh, Peter, you made us all cry," she said, her voice breaking with emotion. Heidi Klum smiled through tears, whispering, "Such a big voice from such a little boy." Then Simon leaned forward, a rare softness in his eyes. "Peter," he said quietly, "that wasn't just singing. That was heart. That was pure soul." The crowd roared again. And before Peter could even process what was happening, Sophia slammed her hand down on the golden buzzer. In an instant, gold confetti burst from above, raining down like a dream come true. Peter gasped, covering his mouth as the stage turned into a glittering shower of gold. His mother rushed from backstage, wrapping him in a tight embrace as the audience chanted his name. For the first time in his young life, Peter realized, his voice had not only been heard, it had touched the world. Hours later, the lights dimmed and the stage grew quiet, but Peter's world still shimmered with gold. Backstage, Cameras flashed, reporters crowded around, and people congratulated him from every direction. Yet through all the noise, Peter just held his mother's hand, smiling shyly, still trying to believe what had just happened. A reporter leaned down, microphone in hand. Peter, how did it feel to get the golden buzzer? He hesitated, glancing up at his mom before answering softly, "It felt like my heart finally spoke." The room went silent for a moment. Peter continued, his voice trembling with sincerity. "When I sing, I think of my family, and of everyone who's ever felt small or scared. I just want them to know they can shine too, even if they come from far away, even if nobody believes in them yet." The clip went viral overnight. Millions watched his golden moment, children, parents, dreamers, and in every home, his courage lit a spark of hope. As the camera faded out, Peter's voice played once more. "Don't be afraid to sing your truth, because somewhere, someone needs to hear it." And that's how one small boy reminded the world of the power of believing.